The red light is on. I'm recording this for you, Leo, Maya, and Sam. The doctor says I have weeks, so here are my last words. Don't waste your life on a career. I know. I was Arthur Finch, the CEO. I had everything money could buy, and I threw away the only things that actually mattered. Let me tell you what happened. It started with a promise. I promised your grandmother, Eleanor, a life of stability. I met her in college. She painted these wild, beautiful oceans. I studied business. I got a job at a textile firm. I didn't see fabric. I saw systems to beat. I'd come home late, buzzing. Ellie's paintings got darker. She'd ask about my day. I'd talk market share. I didn't see her sadness. I thought it was the cost of building our future. Then your mother, Claire, was born. I was in Cleveland closing a deal. Ellie called, her voice so thin. She's here. I sent flowers, big ones. I got home 3 days later and held her. I whispered I was building a world for her, and I meant it. But building is a hungry god. The company grew. We moved to a big house on the hill. Claire had the best of everything, except a father. I was a ghost. I missed her 8th grade play, a supplier crisis. I worked all night. Ellie came home alone. She said, "She looked for you in the crowd, Arthur." That's all. I bought Claire a car when she turned 16, a terrible substitute for "I love you." The first real crack wasn't at work. It was at a parent-teacher conference. Claire was 16, always angry. Her teacher said she wrote essays about abandoned lighthouses. Ellie looked at me. I decided to fix it that night. I marched into her room. She was drawing, not doodling. It was a blueprint for a community garden, with irrigation notes. It was incredible. I said, "This is impressive, but you need to focus on your academic portfolio." She looked up. Her eyes were so old and sad. "You wouldn't understand, Dad. It's not productive." She used my own word. It cut me right open. I didn't know how to reach her. So I went back to work, back to where I knew the rules. Then one Thursday, Ellie didn't come home. No dinner, just a note on the counter. "Gone to the coast, need to breathe, don't call." I panicked. I called and called, voicemail. For a whole day I was powerless. She came back smelling of salt and paint. She'd driven to a cabin and painted for 24 hours straight. She said, "I was drowning here, Arthur, in this beautiful empty museum you built." We didn't fight. We just sat in the quiet kitchen. I saw her then, really saw her. I promised to change. I scheduled a month off. The next morning the board called, a hostile takeover. My month vanished. I looked at Ellie sleeping. I thought, secure the kingdom first, then be the king she needs. The fight lasted 6 months. I won. We crushed them. The victory party was at our house. I stood on the stairs, glass in hand, looking at all of it, my proof. Then I saw Ellie across the room. She was talking to a young sculptor. She laughed, a real joyful laugh I hadn't heard in years. And I knew I hadn't saved anything that mattered. I'd just cemented my failure. A year later, Claire sent an email. It was to Ellie, but she showed me. "I'm dropping out of pre-law," it said. "I can't live a life measured in billable hours. I'm switching to environmental design. I know Dad will see it as a useless hobby. Maybe it is, but I'd rather be useless and happy than successful and dead inside." Dead inside. Those words stuck in my throat. I was the success story, and I felt like a ghost. I didn't fight her. I just wrote back, "Tuition is paid, follow your design." It was my only apology. After that, Ellie and we just moved around each other, polite, quiet, 2 strangers in a big, clean house. Then, at my checkup, the doctor found the spot on my lung. "Slow growing," he said. Just 2 words. I retired the next day. The papers called me a titan stepping down. I felt like a scared old man. Retirement was terrible. Time was empty. I tried golf. I hated it. I read books about famous businessmen. Their lives seemed sad to me now. Ellie was kind, but we had nothing to say. The change started in the garage. I was looking for old files and found a box labeled Artie. My mom's writing. Inside were my sailing magazines, a model boat I'd built, a journal where I'd planned to sail around the world. I sat on the floor and cried. Ellie found me there. She didn't speak. She just sat with me. A few days later, she put 2 beginner sailing kits on the table. The community center, she said, we're teaching a class. Me? Teach? The first class was bad. I was impatient. I used business words. But a little girl, Lila, couldn't tie a knot. She looked up and said, "Can you show me again slower?" So I did, slowly, patiently. I saw her get it, her smile. It felt better than any deal. Her smile. It felt better than any deal. And that's when I broke. Right there in the community center with the smell of old life jackets and chlorine. I went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. I saw a man who had spent 40 years building a monument to himself, and it was empty. I had missed it all. I went home and told Ellie I needed to talk. We sat on the porch. I said, "I don't know my own daughter. I don't know what she's afraid of. I don't know what you dream about now. I built a prison and called it a legacy." I cried, hard. She held my hand and said, "I know." That was worse than anger. She said, "Claire's getting married next spring. She's afraid to tell you. She thinks you'll critique the budget, not hear the joy." It felt like a punch. My own child, afraid of me. That was the cost. That was what I'd lost. Not time, trust. I was a stranger they loved out of duty. I called Claire that night. I just said, "Tell me about him." And she did. And she did. She told me about Ben, who was a teacher, and how he made her laugh, and how they wanted a small wedding in the park she'd designed. I just listened. I didn't ask about the cost. I asked if he was kind. She started crying. She said, "Yes, Dad, he's so kind." That was the beginning, the real beginning. Here's what I learned, sitting here with this oxygen tube, knowing what I know now. I was wrong about what building meant. I thought it was about concrete and stock prices and a name on a door. It's not. Building a life is about showing up. It's about being there for the 8th grade play, even if your phone is buzzing. It's about looking at your daughter's blueprint for a garden and saying, "Tell me about this soil," not, "How will this help your portfolio?" Love isn't a transaction. You can't buy it with a car or a big house. It's a presence. It's your actual face in the crowd, your actual hands helping to plant the garden. What I should have done is so simple it's embarrassing. I should have left the office at 5. I should have taken Ellie sailing when she was painting those stormy oceans, instead of just admiring them later on a wall. I should have asked Claire to teach me about her plants. I should have wasted time. That's the job I neglected, the CEO of my own family. And I failed at it for decades. Don't make my mistake. Don't perform love. Just be there. Put the meeting on hold. Let the email wait. The deal will always be there. The supplier crisis will always be there. Your child's 16th birthday, your wife's laugh across a room, that quiet Tuesday when nothing is wrong and you can just sit together. Those are the fleeting miracles. Those are the building blocks. And here's the hope, the real, solid hope I found. It's never too late to start building the right thing. I didn't get decades with my new perspective. I got years. Good years. Maybe you have more, maybe you have less. But you have now, this afternoon, this evening. That's enough. You can begin with one phone call where you only listen, one dinner where you don't look at your phone, one "tell me more." It's enough. The love you build in the time you have left is the only thing that won't crumble. So, that's my story. That's my confession. If it resonated with you, if you saw a piece of your own life in my mistakes, then do something for me. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications. It's not for me. It's so you don't miss the next story that might shake you awake. Give this video a like if you believe your time is better spent on people than on promotions. And in the comments, I want you to tell me one small thing you'll do differently this week. One phone call you'll make. One work task you'll leave until tomorrow so you can be present today. Share it. Let's hold each other accountable. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, a friend, a parent, a colleague burning themselves out, share this video with them. Send it quietly, no lecture. Just say, "This made me think of you." Maybe it starts a conversation they desperately need to have. We're also collecting stories over on our website. If you have a story of a pivot, of a lesson learned too late or just in time, submit it. Your words might be the lifeline for someone else. And if you want to go deeper, I've put a link to a book in the description that helped me see all this more clearly. It's not about business, it's about time. It's called The Last Ocean, and it's about what we chase and what we leave behind. But for now, just do this. Turn off the screen. Sit for a second in the quiet. Then go find someone in your house or pick up the phone and waste a little bit of your precious, irreplaceable time on them. Be useless together. That's where you'll find everything.